Welcome back, Duluth, Minnesota, Spirit Mountain, the AMSOIL Snowcross Nationals. Getting ready, one of our finals that we are ready for, and this is the junior girls 9 to 13-year-old class. Now, this is a class that was put together this year with the goal of trying to get more young women involved in the sport of snowcross racing. And it's a full field, so hopefully this is going to be a trend that these ladies will develop in their skills and their racing ability and move on to the Pro-Am women's class. Right now, this is the way they line up. Ia Hauger on an Arctic Cat is your #1 qualifier. Then Riley Hadsnack. Makina Kleeman is the #3 qualifier. Tavin Woody, the #4 qualifier. Tasha Lang. Then you've got Meyerhoff. Sophia Halsey racing in the class is the #7 qualifier. Burdage, Schmidt, and Schlotteroff. Autumn Schlotteroff, the #10 qualifier. That's the running order for the junior girls 9 to 12. And these individuals will be racing 7 laps. So they're going to test their skills here, Brendan.
Yes, and already off with an early lead is an Arctic Cat out front as they make their way around to the Polaris corner. We'll have to check on the number who's in front right now.
Back they'll come down the hill as we watch them as they square away and head right back down at us. Looks like that may be the, what is it, 890?
Yes.
890 sled. That is the machine of
Michaela Meyerhofer.
Meyerhofer out of Waterford, Wisconsin. Then it's Hauger in the 2nd, Woody in 3rd, Hasneck in 4th, and Sophia Halsey in the #800 sled in 5th place. So drivers kind of spacing themselves out. And again, you know, here we're looking at young ladies that are 9 to 13 years old. So a lot of them, it's, you know, the first big sled that they've moved up to. Some of these drivers last year could have been running, course 120 champ sleds.
Yes, and it looks like they're doing a great job as here comes Inanna Hauger as she will maybe make this pass. She has the inside line on Michaela. Looks like
she got stuck to the outside. Yep. Michaela did, and I think she's going to even get stuck out a little bit further as Tavin Woody looks like she may get around her also.
Tavin Woody's been doing really good in her heat races today, and so is Inanna Hauger. Inanna took a win in heat 2. Round 2.
Hauer is your race leader as she goes to the top of the hill, and she'll come down that ram runaway because we've seen more than one sled run away on that part of the racetrack. Looking pretty solid here as they continue to work their way around the racetrack. It's still Hauer out in the lead. Woody now has moved up in the 2nd spot. Then it's Meyerhofer in 3rd. Kleeman in 4th, and Hasneck in 5th place.
All right, you see Inanna trying to lengthen the gap between Tav and Woody. Woody's not giving up, though, as she continues to charge on her. I believe there are still 4 laps left to go as they will make their way around one more time. This ram downhill, very tricky section, especially after having the pros out there. The holes are getting deeper, and it's harder to control the sled through that downhill.
Yeah, they chew it up. There's no doubt about that as she continues to be your race leader. Hauer now with about a 2-second lead over Tavin Woody.
Tavin Woody trying to close the gap, but now we have a battle going on for 3rd place as it looks like McKenna Kleeman and Michaela Meyerhofer are battling it out.
Meyerhofer on the Arctic Cat, so it would be Kleeman. I believe Kleeman is on the Skidoo out of Duluth, racing for Graves Drilling.
I believe she did make the pass in the bottom corner as here comes your leader, though, Inanna Hauger. She's going to cross the AMSOIL finish line, get the 2 laps left to go.
Boy, young driver, too. Probably looking and seeing Iceman hold up those 2 flags and go, that ain't going to happen fast enough.
No.
She is, you know, like I said, I'm not sure of her age. She's a smaller framed girl. But, boy, handling that Arctic Cat exceptionally well for this class.
Yes, she is. Track looks tough out there right now. The ruts are getting deeper and deeper as she's starting to enter lap traffic, and this will determine if she's a really good racer here, is how she handles this. And looks like she's going to be able to handle the lap traffic pretty good, and she'll get the white flag. 1 lap left to go.
So Howard leads the field around in this last lap. You see her go through that FXR turn. Milt is here from FXR. Fun talking to him early. And, boy, I tell you what, he's got to be proud. A lot of these drivers wearing FXR gear. Tavin Woody out in second, and Kleeman. That's your podium right now as they get ready to wrap up this race. One last turn.
Inanna Hager making her way down the final stretch of the racetrack. This ran downhill. Hopes she can hold on for the last stretch. And she'll get the double checkered flags. Inanna Hager is your winner of the junior girls 9-13.
Not bad. You qualify number one, and you win the field, win the final. That you've got a good accomplishment for the weekend. Second place is going to go to Tavin Woody. Tavin qualified fourth, will take second place, and third place will go to McKenna Kleeman. Kleeman will take third, and she qualified third. So those girls up front, they ran strong right from the get-go. After that, it's going to be Meyerhofer in fourth, Halsey in fifth, Riley Hasneck in sixth, Tasha Lang, Bourdage in eighth. Then it would be Schmidt in ninth, and Autumn Schlotteroff in 10th place. So they'll get those young ladies up to the podium area. And in a few moments, we'll, of course, get trophies out to the young ladies that finished up. I think Dad's pretty excited about that win, too. Nice run for Iana out of Boyne City, Michigan. Racing for Artie Cat in all aspect forestry. Just a couple of her great sponsors. As the helmet comes off. The rest of the drivers, we'll give them a minute to get their stuff off. There's a little celebration going on. Oh, Iceman must know her. Iceman out even giving her a little hug. So good job. Well, we got one ready there, and where we got? There's third place. Looks like they're getting up to the podium area, so let's introduce to you the top three finishers in junior girls 9-13. In third place, right here out of Duluth, Minnesota, racing for Graves Drilling and Rock Speed. On the number 199 Skidoo, McKenna Kleeman. In second place, on an Artie Cat out of Alpine, Wyoming, racing for Artie Cat, Speedworks, AMSOIL and Stud Boy, that's Tavin Woody. And your winner out of Boyne City, Michigan, racing for Artie Cat, all aspects forestry and US 27 Motorsports, Iana Hager. Congratulations, ladies. Let's go down to the podium and our first winners of the weekend in Chelsea.
Hi guys, I got our girls junior 9-13 class. Up in third spot is Miss McKenna Kleeman. Now you're from Duluth. How does it feel to get up on the podium in front of the hometown crowd?
Really good.
Is there anyone you want to thank?
Rock Speedworks, my mom and dad for buying my snowmobiles and stuff.
Well, congratulations, McKenna. Over in second spot, we've got Tavin Woody. Now, Tavin, tell me, what have you been doing during the off season to get ready for the races?
I had surgery on my ankle this year, but I went to Dave Deaver's gym over in Illinois, and so yeah, Get Fast Racing.
And who else would you want to thank?
I want to thank Artie Cat, a huge thanks to FXR, Dave Deaver, Dylan Langevin, my mom and dad, and Chad Morehouse.
Well, congratulations, Tavin. And on top of the box, we've got Inanna Hager. Now, you have a lot of family that races. How does it feel to be out here with your family over Thanksgiving weekend?
Really good.
And who do you want to thank?
My dad, Cora, Candace, Kevin, my mom I've been having for keeping me safe, US 27 Motorsports, All Aspects Forestry, EVS, and Artie Cat.
Well, congratulations. That's your girls 9-13. We've got another final coming up next.
Thanks, Chelsea. You know what? And these ladies are the first ladies to be on the podium for the 9 to 13. Congratulations, ladies. What an accomplishment. Welcome to the sport of snowcross racing. Boy, they look like true professionals down there. Carl's got a smile on his face. He's going, that's good. It is good. Good to see these ladies racing here. And hopefully as they get a little stronger and a little more secure on the racetrack, we'll see these ladies move up into the Pro-Am class also. That's the intent. All right, getting ready. It is going to be the Sport Lite 1 final on the line. This is the way they line up. Your number 1 qualifier out of McHenry, Illinois, and a skidoo is Brian Peterson. Jordan Wolf qualifies number 2. Adam Peterson is your number 3 qualifier on the 113 Polaris. Brandon Lynn, Taylor Cole, then it's Hoagland, Hunt, Hanson, Bishop, and Slavin, the front row. Back row we find Freddie Grove, Spies, Lightfoot, Mensing, and Obine. Just about ready to go. Green 9-lap final. We're underway. Up the hill they go. Inside line looks to be the best as we watch them as they go up, and that is the 113 of Adam Peterson as he leads the field to the top of the hill. They'll take and make that sweeper, work their way down that Ram runaway. It's Adam Peterson out of Medford, Wisconsin, leading the field down. Look at the inside, though. That is one of the Arctic Cats. That is the 378 of Brandon Lennon. Boy, I'll tell you what, we got a race, Brandon.
Yes, we do. The race is already starting to pass and maneuver throughout the track. Like I said earlier, the track's getting rough. We're going to see who can ride the best in these type of conditions.
So it's Peterson out front, Brandon Lynn in second, then Brian Peterson, Hanson, Bishop, Taylor Cole, Ryan Hunt, and then Jake Sliven in 8th place.
You see Adam Peterson trying to make his way down that Ram downhill, trying to stretch out his lead. He has a 1.5 second lead over Emil Hansen now, who jumps up in that 2nd place position over Brandon Lynn.
And of course, we talk about Adam Peterson. Peterson racing for Lavallee Racing, FXR, C&A Pro Ski, and Peterson Concrete. Levi's got a lot of aspirations for this young man. He had a great year last year in a couple of 2-3 of the classes that he raced in, and now is starting out on the right foot here in Sport Lite 1.
Yes, he will as he takes another green flag. He is now starting to get big in the gap between him and Emil Hansen in 2nd place. Brandon Lynn starting to get some pressure behind him from Brian Peterson.
That was one of the big things. I think that's what's allowed Adam Peterson an opportunity to pull away a little bit, is that there is so much shuffling going on behind him. Hansen, Lynn, Peterson, Bishop, the top 5. But here comes your race leader down the hill one more time. Comes across, Iceman waves him on with a green flag, and it is Peterson out front. But I'll tell you what, there's some charging going on behind him.
Yes, Hansen is getting closer and closer. Adam Peterson a little faster through this whoop section. Now we hit the Air Force flyaway, waiting to see what happens as they enter the player's corner.
Well, it just seems like Emil Hansen pushing the issue a little more than Adam Peterson right now. We watch them as they come back down again. There is your race leader. Last time it was about a 1.5 second differential between the two. Stays about the same, but for some reason it looks like Hansen a little bit faster line, but the differential between the two drivers stays the same. So it's Peterson, Hansen, Lynn now in 3rd, then Brian Peterson, Bishop in 5th. That's your running order.
As they make their way into the player's corner, you can see them going through the back section. They're going to start entering some lap traffic here. This could play to an advantage for Adam Peterson here.
There's your lapper right there. We'll watch as Adam comes through. See if he can make a pass on the back part of the racetrack. You're going to try to want to get clear in these uphill or downhill sections, Brendan, instead of the corner, because that's where you can really end up with an issue.
Yes, and I believe that's going to happen here to Emil Hansen if he does not make the pass quick enough. And looks like he did. He got caught off by that lapper up top, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground on Adam Peterson. Peterson getting the 2 laps left to go.
Yeah, that differential now about 2.5 seconds. So he, by making the pass on the uphill like we talked about, and Emil Hansen having to take and dice around with lap traffic, slowed him down a bit. Advantage Peterson.
Yes.
2 laps left to go. They work their way around this racetrack. The final of Sport Lite 1.
The leader hitting a little bumps right there. There's 1 lap left to go. Emil Hansen once again getting caught by these lappers in the corner, not able to capitalize on them and get around them.
Boy, I tell you what, he came across that flyaway and hit that first jump though, and I thought he was going to lose it. He is not holding back at all. Peterson up at the top part of the racetrack. It's going to be fun to watch these guys come through down the downhill.
Here he is now, waiting to cross the finish line. 2 more bumps to go, and Adam Peterson will take the double checkered flags and is your winner for Sport Lite.
Peterson the win. Hansen in second, and Hansen shaved over almost a second and a half off of Peterson's lead. Brandon Lynn in third, then it's Brian Peterson, Bishop in fifth. Those are the top 5. Why don't you give us the rest of the running order?
Coming across in 6th place is Taylor Cole. In 7th is Ryan Hunt, followed by the 857 and Jordan Wolf. 9th place is Freddie Grove. We're going to take a quick replay at the start here. You can watch Adam Peterson getting off to an early lead, checking out through the rest of the race.
So drivers will give them an opportunity to take their helmets off and head their way up to, of course, the AMSOIL Snowcross National Winner's Circle, and we'll hand out some hardware. That kid's always got a smile on his face. Look at him. Hey, Dad, how's it going? Good to see you. Hey, Levi. Wave at Levi, Adam. There you go. Wave at Levi. He's watching. Congratulations. There he is right there. I hope that jacket's making Levi look bulkier. He looks like he's kind of beefed up a little bit there. So, nice run. Congratulations. Well, looks like I got a couple of helmets to take off yet, and then we'll get ready to go. Here we go, guys. If you want to make your way to the podium, let's introduce the top 3 in Sport Lite 1. In 3rd place, he is out of Anacock, Illinois, racing for Arctic Cat, Route 12 Arctic Cat. On the number 378 sled, Brandon Lind. Second place, from Cheshire, Massachusetts, racing for Mystic Lubricants, FXR Racing, Wicked Auto, CNA Pro Ski, and also Polaris on the number 30 sled, Emil Hansen. And your winner out of Medford, Wisconsin, racing for Lavallee Racing, Polaris, Rocks, FXR, and CNA Pro Ski. On the number 113 Polaris, Adam Peterson. Chelsea, I know you got questions for these guys.
Oh, I sure do. This is our Sport Lite class. In the 3rd spot, Brandon Lind. Tell us about the track. How did it change throughout the day?
It started off good, and then it got really rough because we went out after the pros had practice. But other than that, it was pretty fun.
And who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Anastasia's Arctic Cat, Route 12 Arctic Cat, my dad, my mom, Ingram Motorsports, Speedworks, the Falks, anyone else who I'm forgetting. Thank you.
Congratulations. Let's go over to our 2nd place rider, Emil Hansen. It's your first time out with us, isn't it?
What'd you say?
It's your first time racing with us?
Yeah,
And where are you from?
Sweden.
Well, it's good to have you here. Are you going to race more with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna race this season in East Coast.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you again in New York. Who else would you like to thank today?
I want to thank Team Southside, Polaris, FXR, and everybody that have helped me.
Congratulations. And up on top of the box, I really feel like we haven't left last season. Adam, you're up here again. What did you do during the off season?
I rode a lot of dirt bike, went to Levi's house once, rode on the track, just a lot of training like that.
Well, congratulations. And who do you want to thank today?
I want to thank my mom, my dad. Huge thanks to my mechanic, Brad, getting the sled ripping. Jim Bauer, the leaders, Polaris, all those guys at Polaris, Mystic, Loctite, Fox Shocks, Peterson Concrete, Bauer Excavating, Rolling Machinery, J. Ryan Bonding, Levi, and whoever else I forgot.
Well, congratulations. That's your top 3 in Sport Lite. I think we're going to take a little break here. AMSOIL Dominator coming up later on this evening.
Thanks, Chelsea. Congratulations again, Adam Peterson, your winner. Second place going to Emil Hansen, and third place going to Brandon Lynn in the Sport Lite 1. So that's what takes us to a break here.
We get an opportunity to see a final. The junior 14 and 15-year-olds are starting to get lined up here at the AMSOIL starting line. You'll see the 10 of them line up in the front row, and we'll have 5 of them line up in the back row. For those of you new to AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, the top 10 there transferred in automatically. They get an opportunity to start in the front row. The 5 in the back row had to come in through the last chance qualifier. Obviously, starting in the back row makes it a lot tougher to get to the front, but it has been done before as things get bottled up at the top of the hill here at Spirit Mountain in Duluth. Chris Hockey, Mike Schroeder, Carly Applin bringing you live coverage all across the world from Duluth, Minnesota of this first race of the 2015-2016 season. Our top qualifier for this race as we get ready to take off is Riley Bester out of Prior Lake, Minnesota for Fratellone Companies, FXR, Arctic Cat, and Speedworks. And there you see it. There's the truck of my dreams right there. The official truck of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram, the Ram truck. Now I've got a 2013. I wonder if they'll do it straight up, just a straight up trade. I almost ripped the bumper off of mine a couple of weeks ago, so it's a little bent up. It's still a pretty nice truck, and it might smell like cheeseburgers. But other than that, it's a beautiful truck as well, and I'm willing to trade straight up for that, the official truck of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross. Lineup about to go here. Isaac St. Ong. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly, but he's your second qualifier, and I better learn because he's got a great chance of winning this race. And you've got Reed Runkle out of Burlington, Wisconsin, your third qualifier. Cole Snyder out of Deer River, Minnesota. Taylor Cole out of Medina, Minnesota. Matt Dutzman out of Elk River, Minnesota. William St. Laurent out of St. Bruno, Quebec. Zach Farmer out of Medford, Wisconsin. Carson Allred out of Gaylord, Michigan. And our final 10th qualifier on the front row, Peyton Hogan out of Bozeman, Montana. The back row, Isaac Schlotteroff, Megan Brodeur, Eli Epling, Isaac Polson, and Marcus Lang ready to go. There you see the official sign, getting them ready to go. You see those red lights blinking up there. That means somebody's sitting on the line. They got to back somebody up. They're breaking the line. There's a line they've got to stay behind to make sure that everybody stays behind the line before the green flag drops, before the light goes green. If somebody's breaking the line, the red light starts flashing. They got to back up the offending sled. If you break it and they're about to go racing, they may have to put you in the back row. As you see on the left side of your screen, somebody's just on the edge. It's in the starter's hands. This is a final for the trophies. We are green and we are racing in Duluth. Up the hill they go. Somebody from the outside very fast, but it looks like the 117 is Isaac St. Ong. He's your leader as they head up the hill into the cat turn. The 629 right there as well. That's Reed Runkle as we've got a battle heading down the straightaway and towards the AMSOIL finish line. We'll set the field for you momentarily as the 14 and 15-year-olds are on the track. Isaac St. Ong, Riley Bester, and Reed Runkle 1, 2, 3 as they head back up the hill with a move to the outside. It's a drag race up the hill towards the Air Force flyaway. We may have a new leader at the top of the hill. Riley Bester into the lead at the top of the hill around the cat corner, and down the hill he comes. About to complete lap number 2. The new leader is on a rail, and his name is Riley Bester. Isaac St. Ong is in second, and Reed Runkle now rounding out the top 3 with Carson Allred and Taylor Cole 4th and 5th. But the podium right now, and the leader is Riley Bester on the 151. Riley Bester again out of Prior Lake, Minnesota, made the 3-hour drive and found his way to Spirit Mountain right now and is trying to find his way to the top of the podium. Here's the battle for 4th and 5th. Carson Allred and Taylor Cole right there. A great battle. Oh, Carson Allred a little squirrely. The 964 of Cole Snyder, that is actually right there. That's Cole Snyder on the 964. as he is trying to hold off Taylor Cole, who's right behind him. That is the battle for a top 5 spot. And these guys racing for points tonight. Every race matters for these junior 14 and 15-year-olds. But back to the front we go. That's the 151 once again of Riley Bester. A giant lead for Riley right now for FXR. Again, on a prior leg for Fratellone Companies, FXR and Arctic Cat. Up the hill, your leader goes. Something new for all you fans here this year. You see the leaderboard right in the middle of the track. The very top number is how many laps we have in. 4 laps in, and then your top 5 running order right there on the scoring board, so you can keep an eye on who is where.
You know, when watching Riley Bester all day long, this kid has really been laying down some lap times as they've gone around this racetrack. Looking strong here in the final. Junior 14-15.
It took him almost 1 entire lap to get around Isaac Sato, who continues to be your second place rider. But once he got around him, it has been nothing but clear sailing for your leader, Riley Bester. Now Carson Allred, by the way, gets around Reed Uncle. He's in 3rd. Going on the battle behind your leader, who's right there into some lap traffic. He'll go over that AMSOIL finish line, get those crossed flags, meaning he's halfway through. But that right there is your battle between 2nd and 3rd place.
Yeah, and there's only about half a second between those two guys too, and on a snowcross track, we know that that's not a lot.
That's right. Now, again, Mike, Isaac out in 2nd place right there, trying a bit of a different line, opening up a spot for Carson Allred to try to take the spot away, and it's a battle in the cat corner.
Well, I tell you what, you go outside, you've got to have faith in your racing ability, and you've got to have faith in your sled that you're going to be able to cover that line so that the opponent can't get underneath you.
And he did, and he got him. Carson Allred is now your 2nd place racer, and he is trying to find a way to reel him in on the last lap. Barely enough time, probably, to reel in your leader. I don't think he's got time to get him, but a great move for Carson Allred as there's your leader at the top in the cat corner, dealing with some lap traffic. He'll make that dog leg and head down the stretch for the final time, Mike.
Down the Ram runaway, checkered flags out, Iceman ready, Riley Bester taking a big win as he takes and wins the junior 14-15 class.
Riley Bester with the win. Carson Allred will come across in 2nd, and Isaac Sadong will hang on for 3rd. That will be your podium. Reed Runkle comes across in 4th, and Cole Snyder will round out your top 5. The flames, though, in the air for Prior Lake, Minnesota's Riley Bester, your top qualifier on the night. As I mentioned, it took him a while to find his way around, but Riley put up the fastest lap of the race at a 29.094. Let's take a look at what happened here. Again, a very even start off that AMSOIL start line, and up the hill they went, but the whole shot went to Isaac St. Ong. You'll see this battle right there. That's the 117 of Isaac right there on the inside. He ended up, again, running 3rd. The outside line there, that was Riley Bester. A great battle at the top of the hill, and there you have it. Riley takes the lead, and he would run away from there. Little bit of a lap traffic there at the very end of the race for, as you can see, Riley, again, the leader right there. But the AMSOIL finish line, the checkers in the air and the flames in the air, and the trophy's going home with it.
And you know what? We need to throw an extra kudo out to Carson Allred. Allred qualified 9th, worked us all the way through the field to end up in 2nd place. That's not a bad run early in the year.
Absolutely right. Megan Brodeur comes across in 9th, by the way, after starting in the back as well. She went through the LCQ, and that's a good run, no doubt about it. As everybody starts taking off their helmets, getting themselves all set.
The interesting thing is that Fratellone Racing has been FXR supported for a long, long time. Milt from FXR down there congratulating his racers. It's amazing how much FXR gear we're seeing here, and I mean, talk about some neat combinations.
I tell you, look at that jacket that Milt's wearing right there. I like that model. Milt, bring it up here for a brother, would you? Look at that jacket he's wearing. That's the new FXR gear, I think, right there.
Little black and purple.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it is purple.
Yeah, looking good, looking good.
Maybe he's a Vikings fan.
Well, of course he is. Come on now. Oh, look at the pretty girls here in Duluth. Hey, you. How you doing? All right.
Are you ready?
Am I ready for what?
For the top 3.
Oh, I would love to hear who got what and give some hard work.
I'm ready too. Let's announce your top 3 here in the junior 14-15 class. In 3rd place out of Ontario, Canada, on the number 117 Skidoo, Isaac St. John. There he comes. In second place, out of Gaylord, Michigan, racing for Arctic Cat, Diesel Freak, Mega Power. He is on the number 631 Arctic Cat, Carson Allred. And your winner, who was the number 1 qualifier, went 1-1-1 today out of course, Prior Lake, Minnesota. Racing for Fratellone Companies, FXR, Arctic Cat, Speedworks, and Stud Boy, Riley Bester. Let's go down to winner's circle.
Hey guys, this is Junior 14-15, top 3. In our third spot, Isaac St. John. Thank you for joining us on the podium. Who do you want to thank for your third spot today?
I'd like to thank my dad, mostly Bailey Motorsports, and everyone who's helped me out through getting here. I've never been able to run a U.S. race, so this is a great experience for me.
Well, congratulations, glad to have you. Let's go over to our second spot, Carson Allred. You had quite a battle to get up here. Who do you want to thank for getting up here tonight?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, my sister, Arctic Cat Mike Coletti, R12 Designs, and Diesel Freak.
Congratulations, Carson. And on top of the box, Riley Besser, you have had a great day all day long. Tell me about the stars. How important are they?
Very important, so you can get out in the lead and there's no snow in your face. Clear goggles helps it a lot.
And who do you want to thank today?
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, FXR, Arctic Cat, Mike Coletti, Fratellone Racing, Graphics Effects, Fox, and everyone else. Thanks.
Well, congratulations, Riley. That's your top 3. Give them another round of applause. I'm going to send it back to the booth.
Great work as always, Chelsea, and congratulations once again to our top 3 in that class. We got another final coming right up here as well, and this one's always fun.
That's quite an outfit Bester's got on there. Do you see that?
I do, yeah. You
and his goggles even match his outfit.
I like it very much. Again, it's FXR. Look at all the FXR stuff.
A fashion statement.
Well, it is a fashion statement.
It is a fashion statement.
Look at that. It's almost Christmas. In fact, you know what? Let's start celebrating it right now. As we are up in Duluth, it's happened. You know, the temperature is below 20. The snow was on the ground. The snowmobiles are making noise. It's AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram. It's time to go racing again, Mike.
FXR Sport 1 final. What a field. Lorenz, Patnode, Urich, Peterson, Neubauer, Dowd, Larson, Roper, Giesman, Thielen. That's just the front row.
It's in the starter's hands, and we're green, and up the hill they go in Duluth, bumping and banging in the FXR Sport class.
Careful, that could have been really ugly on the inside, but everybody worked their way through all right.
I love this class because they just give her gas and try to hold on. A lot of times it does not work out for them, but you are seeing the future stars of snowcross on the track here in Duluth at Spirit Mountain, and down the hill they come as we set the field.
Set the field, the first across, Jacob Urich on the Polaris, then Eddie Neubauer, Mitchell Thielen, one of the K2 racing drivers, all the way up into third, and he qualified 10th.
Up the hill they go, look at that.
Patnode, Lorenz, Adam Peterson came out of the back row, sitting in 6th place. This thing isn't over yet.
No doubt about it.
There's a lot of racing here, and they've got 9 laps in this final.
And this will be lap number 2 in the books for your leader, the 727 of Jacob Urich. Jacob out of Grand Blanc, Michigan for Polaris Factory Racing and FXR. That's your leader. You see a yellow flag. They got to slow down. Be careful. There's a sled on the track. Looks like he's up and moving again. And your leader's back on the gas in the cat corner.
Urich really starting to stretch things out. Now, if you look back to Eddie Neubauer, who's in 2nd place, it was 3.5 seconds last time by. Let's see if that's tightened up at all.
We're going to see a lot of stuff going on. Speaking of tightened up, right behind Jacob Urich, the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th is a crazy one right now as your leader takes a look over his shoulder and sees that they are battling it out behind him. He can stretch out his lead. That's your battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there as they head up the hill.
And the battle between, of course, that last podium spot, that's Thielen on the 239 Polaris in 3rd. Nicholas Lorenz, he is also on a Polaris of 572, was the number 1 qualifier, only about 0.3 seconds off of a podium finish.
Let's set the field. Urich, Neubauer, Thielen, And then you've got Lorenz and Patnode. Peterson right there has moved himself up to 6th place. Yurt continues to be your leader as you see him over the Air Force flyaway, but the battle continues behind him as we are now 4.5 I should say, laps into this race.
Jacob Yurt continues to lengthen his lead, now almost 4.5 seconds. That battle for 3 and 4. Man, I'll tell you what, it's 0.3 of a second. Look at Nicholas Lorenz and Mitchell Thielen.
Wow, outside goes Lorenz. The battle right there for 3rd place in the final spot on the podium. They head up the hill. The 239 of Thielen continues to hold on.
Boy, there was a yellow flag that was waving back there.
There's Neubauer, and there's the battle for 3rd. Thielen, Lorenz, the inside goes Thielen to take the spot back.
Boy, and look at Lorenz work the outside, though. Oh, not able to bring it back.
Almost off his sled. He holds on, and he's right back in this race over the AMSOIL finish line. 6 laps in, it's Thielen and Lorenz. The outside, it's Thielen. The inside, Lorenz takes a look. Backs off a bit, and up the hill they go.
Lorenz, the #1 qualifier, wants to get on that podium. We're working laps. They're counting down. It's only 0.4 of a second, if even that. Oh, and now they've caught Neubauer. So now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all in the battle.
Jacob Yurt has run away and hid. There's your leader as the battle continues for him. That's the 727 of Yurt. He'll make his way out of that turn and head back up the hill.
5.5 second lead that he has over the rest of the field. The action is for 3, 4, 2, 3, and 4.
Yurt around the cat corner, 7 laps in. There again is the battle. That's the 239 of Thielen battling with Nicholas Lorenz. That's the final spot on the podium.
Lorenz tries to go underneath. Thielen able to cover. Came down just a bit to take away the line of Nicholas Lorenz.
3rd place on the AMSOIL finish line right now. 1 lap to go. They battle for the podium.
Look
the
at
572 to the outside, Mike.
He went way outside. Come back down underneath. Oh, and I'll tell you what. Watch Thielen just pushing him up the hill.
Oh, he's off his sled. I believe that was Thielen that went off his sled.
You bet. He was just all over Lorenz. I think he may have gotten into the back of him, and that was what it took.
Jacob Yurt crosses the finish line for the win as the action happened behind him. Jacob Yurt continued to just get away from everybody. The flames in the sky for the 727 and the win for Jacob Yurt. Eddie Neubauer will hang on for 2nd, and Nicholas Lorenz a very hard-fought spot to earn on that podium for the 3rd place racer.
4th place is going to be Adam Peterson, Hunter Patnode, Dylan Jensen. Here's the whole shot. FXR Sport 1 final, and it almost got ugly there. Everybody made it up the hill. Now here's the battle that was through most of the race. There you see Lorenz almost off his sled. Thielen sitting in 3rd place right there. Then they got into the back part. Look at this. Lorenz gets by. Thielen gives him a little nudge, and of course he came off his sled.
Down the hill they come, and you'll see it as they cross the finish line. The flames shoot in the air. A big win, the opening round weekend for Jacob Yurt in FXR Sport #1.
So here's the big question, Hawk. You think sport class is going to be exciting this year?
It always is. I mean, it never, ever, ever disappoints. You can hardly ever pick your winner week to week when you see the 15 sleds on the starting line. So I love it so much.
And I'll tell you what. So the top 3, Urich, Neubauer, Lorenz, Patnode in 4th, Peterson. Then you've got Patnode in 6th. Those are the top 6 places. Well, the guys look like they got their helmets off. So let's go down to the AMSOIL Snowcross National Spirit Mountain Winner's Circle and introduce to you the top 3 on the podium in the FXR Sport 1 final. In 3rd place, he's out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. He qualified 1, ends up in 3rd, racing for Polaris, FXR, SSI Decal, and AMSOIL, Nicholas Lorenz. In 2nd place, out of Union Grove, Wisconsin, racing for American Metalcraft Industries, Artie Cat, Get Fast Inc., and Rock River Marina on the 747 Artie Cat, Eddie Neubauer. And your winner out of Grand Blanc, Michigan, racing for Polaris, FXR, Urich Construction, and Great Lakes Diving and Salvage, Jacob Urich. Let's go down trackside to Chelsea.
What a race in the sport class. Our third place rider, Nicholas Lorenz. Tell me about that last and final lap.
Yeah, that last lap was intense. It was every bit I had. I mean, it worked and I got on the podium. I'm very happy about that. I'd like to thank SSI Decals, Polaris, Tom Jr., Ben, Bob, Kyle, Brad, my dad, my mechanic Austin, Prestige Builders, On Time Enterprises, and just everybody who was there for me. Thank you very much. And FXR. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right. In our second spot, we've got Eddie Neubauer. You had a really good day of qualifying. Who would you like to thank for that?
Huge thanks to Dave Deaver at Get Fast Inc. He helped me rehab my knee 2 years in a row now and got me in amazing shape. I pulled a pretty sweet Superman on the whoops and saved it, so that was cool, and that's thanks to Dave. Huge thanks to Articat. They've been an incredible support. My mom and dad, American Metalcraft, Rock River Marina, Action Graphics, RP Refinishing, Shepherd Designs. I can't even think. I'm so pumped right now. But thanks to everybody who helped me out. This is huge. Motor Fist, they got me looking pretty sweet. So thanks everybody. 60 helmets, they're coming, but thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, Eddie. And up on top of the box, Jacob Yerk. Tell me about your day. Tell us about the track. What was your favorite parts of it?
My favorite part of the track is always the rhythm section. It takes a lot of focus to get through them without wrecking, and unfortunately that happens a lot in this class. So basically just to get through there clean and to run the rest of the track 100% is what I would like to do.
And who do you want to thank today?
Huge shout out to everybody watching back at home and God for keeping me safe out there. But I could not do it without Factory Polaris. Those guys are in day in and day out helping me out. So a huge thanks to them. Also, I got to thank FXR for the sweet gear this year, and Great Lakes Diving and Salvage, Mach 1 Graphics, CNA Pro Skis, Bishop Designs for making my head look good this year, Stud Boy EVS, Scott Goggles. Like I said, everybody back at home, thank you so much. It means so much.
Congratulations. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. The guys will be back on Track and Sport. I'm going to send it back to the booth. We got more finals action coming up.
Speaking of schedule, well, this is what's on our schedule next, the Junior 16-17 final. As you see the drivers getting ready, 15 of them. Riley Bester, the #1 qualifier. Tobias Larson, Carson Allred, Devin Malcine, Tyler Cole, Matthew Wilbert, Cole Schneider, Kalen. Then it's St. Laurent and Dutzman. That's the front row. Back row we find Brodeur. Megan Brodeur racing in a number of classes this weekend. Peyton Hogan, Isaac Schlotteroff, Eli Epling, and Drew Johnson.
That's right, Riley Bester, your #1 qualifier on the 151. He's been fast all day long here in Duluth. You see the red lights flashing? We're going to get everybody back behind that starting line and get ready to go green. Again, the junior 16 and 17-year-old final getting ready to go racing here in Duluth. There's your starter, man. He's got all the power in the world. If he thinks he likes it, he'll let him go racing. If not, he'll make him wait. And he's not liking what he's seeing right now.
You know, and the interesting thing about the starting line, and they talked about that earlier, is that they were trying to give them a buffer. So what that means is that they were painting the line about 6 inches behind the red beam. So, I mean, that would give them a chance to engage their clutch without breaking the beam. But if you broke the beam, you're quite a ways ahead of that line that they
beam
put
is
out
broken.
there.
As you can see on the left-hand side there, somebody's got the beam broken. Looks like the red sled right there. No, maybe not. Line's still broken. Push back the black sled there. Just a smidge. Yep, that's off. Okay, I think we're ready to go racing. The junior 16 and 17-year-olds. It's in the starters' hands. And we are racing in Duluth. Up the hill they go. The junior 16-17 final is on the track, and the 631 has the whole shot.
Boy, it's like a freight train on that inside line, too. They were all working hard to work their way up. Look at Bester. He talked about hole shots earlier, trying to work his way up. He's going to position in second. This is going to be a good race.
Carson Allred with the hole shot, trying to hold off the fast qualifier as they head towards the AMSOIL finish line. And we've got a new leader. Riley Bester takes it back. Looking to the inside is Carson Allred. Can he make the move as they head up the hill?
Just couldn't get enough drive to make that sled turn the way he wanted to in that corner, Hawk. That left Bester time to get it work around the outside, and he holds the lead.
It's Bester, Allred, and Malcine, 1, 2, and 3. The 6-3-1, Allred looks to the inside, but don't forget Malcine in the 720 right there waiting for somebody to make a mistake. The leader headed towards the AMSOIL finish line right now. Riley Bester puts another lap in this feature race.
And he put a little more distance between he and the rest of the field. He now has almost a 2-second lead over Carson Allred, Malcine, and then it's Callan in 4th, Wilbert in 5th, Larson, Cole, Schneider. Those are your top 8 sleds.
Over the Air Force Flyway, the battle has begun for second between Allred and Malcine. Allred now holds that second spot. Malcine looks to the inside on that 720 machine.
Boy, Devin tried to dig hard and square it up there to try to make up some ground on the sled of Carson Allred. Really wasn't able to make it work for him. He's still trying to make up some distance.
5 laps to go in this race. Your leader continues to be Riley Bester. It's Allred, it's Malcine, it's Callan, and then Larson. Your top 5 right now as they head for the Air Force Flyaway.
There you see Allred. Watch him work to the outside. Malcine trying everything he can do to find a decent line. Now slingshotting outside, and you've seen him trying to get all that weight out in front of that ski to get that Arctic Cat to turn in the corner. Just doesn't seem to want to work for him. He's still holding on to take and be in 3rd place.
Again, the lead, Riley Bester, there he is. He's got a 3.5-second lead over Allred in 2nd, Malcine in 3rd, and Cale Callan, I should say, in 4th, is about to start making his case for that 3rd and final podium spot with Malcine. There's your leader, though, on the screen, making the dogleg. The 151 heads down the hill once again.
Kid looks like he hasn't even worked up a sweat, just making laps around this racetrack. I'll tell you what, he is looking extremely strong. And I'll tell you what, you know, racing in both the sport and the junior 16-17 class, I'll tell you what, I like what I'm seeing here.
A lot of people, I'm sure, keeping an eye on this young man as he continues to race and continues to be dominant here in Duluth. There's the Air Force Flyaway. There's your 2nd place rider. That's the 631 of Carson Allred. Allred not giving up on winning this race. Got Bester in his sights, but does he have enough laps left to reel in the leader? Doesn't look like it. The 151. Although I'll tell you, Riley Bester now getting into some lap traffic. That's the 351 of Drew Johnson right there in 15th place. Bester dispatches of him quickly, but a little squirrely through that section right there.
Yeah, he was right there. You know, this really shows why it's important when you've got good vision in front of you and nobody in front of you to make hay. I mean, really get out in front, work hard, make good lines, try to put some distance between you and the rest of the field so that when you do start running into lap traffic, you've got a little bit of a buffer to take and work with. And when you take and look at him right now, Bester, you know, still out in front by a little over 4 seconds.
And he just got the white flag over that AMSOIL finish line. 1 lap to go. That's the 720 of Devin Malcine. And I believe he just made the move on Tobias Larson to take back that 3rd spot. That's the battle for the final podium spot as we are less than a half a lap from it meaning everything, whether or not you're going to be on that podium and take home that hardware. Meanwhile, down the hill he comes. The flames ready to fly for the 151, and your winner is Riley Bester in this junior 16 and 17 final. The 151 leads flag to flag and will take home the hardware. Here comes 2nd place, Carson Allred, and the 3rd place will go to Tobias Larson. Gets by Malcine for that final spot on the podium. Quite a race there at the end, and Larson makes that final move count. He will take the 3rd and final podium spot just ahead of Malcine and Cale Callan, who will wind up 5th.
You take a look at the rest of the field. 6th place is going to be Matthew Wilbert. Then you got Taylor Cole in 7th. It's St. Laurent in 8th. Cole Schneider in 9th, Dutzman in 10th, then it's Hogan, Brodeur, Schlotteroff, Epling, and Drew Johnson winding up the field. What a great run for Riley Bester. I got a feeling that he's going to be visiting that podium a number of times this year.
I think you're right. Let's take a look at how it happened there. That's the 631 of Carson Allred with the hole shot. Great start for him, but you see the 151 right there up the hill, reeling him in, and eventually got around him and just took off and left him. flames in the air. And Riley Bester takes the win out of Prior Lake, Minnesota. The good people of Fratellone Company's got to be very happy with their racer tonight.
Drivers down, taking their helmets off again. A lot of dignitaries down here tonight that are working with some of our people.
Well, look at that Fox hat he's got on. That's a sweet hat.
That is.
That's old school. That looks like 70s era motocross hat that he's wearing.
Retro, got to get the goggles on there.
Like that.
So you can see those. There you go.
Again, after we hand out the hardware, we'll be ready to go for AMSOIL Pro Open Racing again. Round 2 of the Dominator coming up next. Then the semifinals and the finals as we are making our way for the first night of racing of the year in AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, powered by Ram. Again, a fantastic group of fans here tonight for this first night of racing.
They certainly are, and we want to remind people that racing starts again tomorrow morning. It's a full day of racing starting at about 9:30. There'll be some practice starting about 8:30, but racing starting at 9:30. There'll be an opening ceremony as we get going. And of course, tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. A lot of things taking place tomorrow, though. We invite you here early on. Let's introduce the top 3 drivers here in the Junior 16-17 class in their final. In third place, out of racing for Mystic Lubricants, FXR, Wicked Auto, and CNA Pro Ski. On the number 166 Polaris, Tobias Larson.
That's not Tobias Larson.
No, that's Mills. There comes Tobias.
Here he comes. That's not Tobias either. Everybody wants his hardware. That's not fair. They can't have it. He earned it. There comes Tobias. That's the one.
All right, congratulations. In second place, out of Gaylord, Michigan, racing for Artie Cat, Diesel Freak, Mega Power. He is on the number 631 Artie Cat, Carson Allred. And your winner, oh, what a weekend, out of Prior Lake, Minnesota, racing for Fratellone Company, FXR, Artie Cat, Speedworks, and Stud Boy, Riley Bester. Let's go down trackside to Chelsea again. Chelsea?
I've got our third place rider, Tobias Larson. And beheading her race. Who would you like to thank?
Tim Southside, FXR, Fox, Spy. Yeah.
Congratulations, thank you. Let's move over to our second place rider, Carson Allred. Come on down by me. So Carson, you had another great race. Who would you like to thank today?
I thank my mom, my dad, my sister, Articat Mike Coletti, Diesel Freak, R12 Designs, and Mega Power Sports.
Well, congratulations, Carson. And up on top of the box, once again, Riley Bester. 2 times out here, 2 times on top. How does it feel to start the season off so strong?
Feels great.
And who do you want to thank today?
I'd like to thank FXR, Mill for getting me this sweet gear, and Matt, my mom, my dad, my sister, Articat, Mike Coletti, Spy, Rocks, and everyone else.
Well, congratulations, Riley. Get back out there, take some pictures. Congratulations. That is your Junior 16-17. I'm sending it back to the booth. We got AMSOIL Dominator coming up next.
So there's 16 in it right now. When we get done with these next 8 races, we'll be down to 8 races.
Every one of those matchups has its own storyline. The biggest storyline comes in the first one, though. Tucker Hibbert versus Corey Watkinson. Of course, Tucker Hibbert, your 9-time national champion in AMSOIL Championship Snowcross. But as we said earlier, this Dominator has not been kind to him.
It has not. Last year, of course, he had a little contact in the top part of the racetrack. With Brett Turcott, kind of got together with him and was disqualified eventually. Tough break, but that's racing. And, earlier Carly asked me what you're going to have to do. I think you're going to need a good hole shot, and then you're going to need to protect your line. This is kind of, you don't know what everybody's bringing here. I mean, there's a lot of new sleds out here. The big question has to be the Polarises. How are they going to perform? You know, you're talking about a whole new setup, and Skidoo's using, Tom Lawrence said Skidoo's using a new motor, a new clutching setup. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Here you see Tucker Hibbert coming up, and then it's going to be, as you indicated, that would be the sled of Corey Watkinson. Corey, of course, out of Port Carling, Ontario, and he ended up last year 22nd in points in the Pro Open class, and he qualifies 16th here in, of course, the AMSOIL Dominator Cup.
And again, for Corey, it's an accomplishment to qualify for this race. You've got to race your way in to qualifying for this race. Tucker makes it in because he's your defending champion. Corey raced his way in with some very quick laps earlier tonight. Tucker gets the opportunity to choose where he wants to start. That's what they're doing right now, taking a look at where they think they're going to get the best snow, Mike.
Right, and that's what they talked about, too. Tucker was very clear in the driver's meeting, if I want to take an inside line, and I don't want anybody to the inside of me, can we do that? And Tucker, is very clear that that's the way they'll do it. They're going to be starting on the flag. Look at Tucker. Tucker's standing on the seat of his sled, just trying to get a better observation of what the racetrack looks like. So, if you're watching from home, you see it on the screen. If you're live in person, they're across the racetrack in corner number 2, just before the uphill. This will go green, white, checker. So, in essence, they're racing about 2.5 laps, just about ready to go green, and here we go!
We are green for the first time this year, and Tucker Hibbert takes the lead. Up the hill they go. The Dominator leading the first Dominator heat here in Duluth.
Boy, and Hibbert did exactly what we talked about, getting that hole shot, getting out in front. Now, trying to cover his line, and when you take a look at these drivers, both of them on Arctic Cat, but remember, Tucker's sled, who works on it? His dad, Kurt Hibbert. Danny Ebert is now moved into the trailer. That is a superb crew, and of course, good people working on Corey's sled too, but Tucker just so awesome.
Up the hill he goes, and into that turn over the Air Force flyaway. The cat turn, you see it up there. Tucker's so fast as he heads towards the AMSOIL finish line. As you will see, he'll get that white flag in this very first round of the AMSOIL Dominator. 1 lap to go, but as we've seen so many times in AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, the race is not over till the checkers are in the air, Mike.
You're right. Of course, Tucker, that first lap had about a 1.2 second lead over Corey. Now it's about 1.8. He just keeps stretching it out. He's got that Ram runaway hill yet. He'll take a checker.
Down the hill comes Tucker Hibbert, headed for the AMSOIL finish line. He'll win the first race of the year, starting the season as he ended it last year. Tucker Hibbert goes to round 2 of your AMSOIL Dominator here in Duluth. Our next matchup, Mike, looks like this.
Next match will be Tim Tremblay and Adam Renheim. Carly is down there with Tucker Hibbert. Carly?
Tucker Hibbert, congratulations. That's just 2 laps. How hard are you pushing out there in this Dominator?
Pretty hard, but the racetrack is really hard packed right now. They groomed it and it's set up, so you got to be careful. You can't push too hard.
Good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Once again,
hear it right from the main man. We're looking at a replay of the start here, talking about the fact that the snow is set up a little bit, so we're talking about possibility of some square grooves, a little icy in that. Going to have to be careful, but he was able to make it work for him.
You want to be smooth, you want to be fast, but if you can be both, you're the best, and that's Tucker Hibbert right there. Great crowd again on hand live here in Duluth for this opening night of racing. It's rather chilly, but as you can see, the race fans are ready to go with round 2 here in the first round. I should say matchup number 2 here in the first round. Tim Tremblay versus Adam Renheim, and Tim Tremblay knows a little something about how to win this Dominator.
He sure does. He is going for the 3-peat. You think he can do it? We're going to find out shortly. I'll tell you what, no easy battle for him though. Renheim comes in as your number 15 seed. Last year he ended up 10th in points though in the AMSOIL Pro Open final. Renheim, the big, strong driver that of course comes from over in Lofdalen, Sweden. Big rider. It'll be interesting to see how these guys fare.
I looked at the lineup as we were setting up the brackets here. This is, for me, the best matchup of this first round. This could be a good one. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. The flag is in the flag man's hand. When he drops that flag, we are green and racing in Duluth. Matchup 2 of round 1 is green.
The 311 against the 11. Tremblay with the yellow skis. They're about bar to bar on the uphill.
Up the hill they go over the Air Force Flyaway. It's Tremblay in the lead.
Tremblay's got the preferred line right here. Look at him. And
boxes him out.
He did, but it was clean.
Absolutely.
That's the big thing right there.
Down the hill they come towards the AMSOIL finish line. Tremblay with the lead, 1 lap in.
0.4 of a second. Look at Renheim. Renheim right there, though, as they square away and come back up the hill for the second time.
Eaton roost from Tim Tremblay. Renheim falls back a bit over the Air Force Flyaway. That AMSOIL sled takes the outside line. Renheim looks to the inside, can't make the move.
Well, you know, it's almost like Adam got a little flustered there. He was so close for so long. Now Tremblay just has found his mojo, and away he goes.
Into the final turn for the final time. And again, Tremblay this time gives up a little speed to Renheim as he heads up the hill on this, the final lap of this second matchup of round 1. The Air Force Flyaway for the final time.
It was almost 0.9 of a second. You can be sure three-peat is on Tim Tremblay's mind. Down the Ram runaway, here they come.
Headed towards that AMSOIL finish line and the win. Tim Tremblay will take up matchup number 2 of round 1 of the AMSOIL Dominator. And if that race showed us anything, it showed us just how important the line is in that first turn at the top of the hill. And Carly Applin is with our winner down near the start line. Carly?
Tim, how important is that for you're just getting that those off. We're just getting you right off that. We want to know, how important is that first turn?
I mean, it's everything. You know, I was on the inside, and then for sure he wanted to cut back inside, so I just kind of wait and then push him outside, and then just go from there.
Good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Guys, back.
Thank you, Carly. And you mentioned it earlier tonight. Tim looks big. Let's take a look at this shot here. As you said, they came off pretty even. It was a drag race up the first strip, but as Tim mentioned, he had the inside line. He wasn't giving it up.
No, like I said, position and line is going to be important here, and you've seen both the drivers so far that have moved on have taken that inside line. Because if you got a good hole shot, and say you're hole shot to hole shot, you want to have that inside position when you get to the top part of the racetrack, so you're in position to do exactly what he did. He did it clean. He just took the line away from, of course, the racer that he was racing against, and that was Adam Renheim, and was able to position himself go on. One thing that I noted, you look at the weather and how long these guys have been doing things in that, if you notice that Tim's goggles, when he took them off, they were really fogged up.
No doubt about it. A lot of fog and a lot of roost coming off his sled into Adam Renheim's face. Here's matchup number 3 of round 1. Corin Todd versus Stale Egan, the 799. You'll see on the inside the black sled, that is Stale Egan. Corin Todd on the outside in the red and white sled, that's Corin. And we are about to go green. Green, we are! Matchup number 3 is on the way. Up the hill they go.
Boy, Corin Todd trying to find, that's that new Polaris racing, of course, out of Idaho. Let's see if he can try to muscle back down underneath. This is where they thought that that sled would be so sharp, is in the cornering. So we're watching as they come down.
Whoa, look at the speed on Egan. Again, a new name to me as we go into this first round of racing this year, but he was very fast in the qualifying, and right now leading Corin Todd, the 799. That is Stale Egan. Up the hill he goes.
He made some appearances last year at some of the races, ended up last year, if I'm not mistaken, 26th in points out of Toronto, Canada. He's sure got a handle on what he's doing right now.
Oh, very squirrely right there. White flag is in the air, but it all comes down to this. Oh, squirrely into the corner again. But as we like to say in the racing world, it's checkers or wreckers in a race like this.
If you watched him, he looked down like he may have had a problem coming out of turn number 2. Let's see if he can hold on to it.
Here comes Corin Todd. Looks to the inside. A bit of a bobble from Stale Egan. Down the hill they come. It's a drag race towards the AMSOIL finish line. Stale Egan will hold on and take that transfer spot. What a race between those two. And we have someone brand new to watch in the AMSOIL Pro Open ranks. And I can't wait to send it down to Carly to see what he has to say about that. Carly Applin is with our winner.
Congratulations. Let's talk about the biggest challenge out there tonight. What's going to be the biggest challenge on this track?
I don't know. It's my first time in Dominator, so I'm pretty stoked.
Well, good luck in the next round.
Thanks.
His first time in Dominator, he's pretty stoked, and he was pretty fast right there, right off the start, Mike.
Inside again, you know, he was the number 9 qualifier. I was kind of surprised that Corin Todd gave the inside away when they staged and ready to go. And, you know, all those drivers that are down there watching, it'll be interesting to see what happens next. Coming up in your next round, the number 7 qualifier, Dave Jonas out of Christian Brother Racing. That's the Royal Distributing Arctic Cat up against Peter Narsa. Narsa making a huge change and going to race for Henches Racing on that Pertec Polaris. This is going to be fun to watch.
Narsa in the orange and black. We've got somebody waving off the start here in the back.
Either that or he sees the camera and he's waving at his mom, maybe. No, I don't think that's the case, so.
Not sure what's going on here. All right, again, the 115 sled. That is Dave Jonas. The black sled on the inside. Up the hill they go. Peter Narsa, a little bit of a hole shot, but here comes Dave Jonas.
Yeah, and watch Jonas now. Even though Narsa may be bar to bar with him, Jonas has got position.
He sure does, and he'll use that to take the lead coming out of that cat corner.
Exactly what he did. Boy, I tell you what, inside line is proving to be the place to be. Look at Jonas just starting to stretch out a little bit now as he's got about a 0.7 of a second lead over Peter Narsa.
Out of that FXR turn and up the hill they go. Once again, the 115 of David Jonas is your leader. Big air over the Air Force, fly away into the turn. Outside line for him this time, but Peter Narsa follows him through the cat corner. Down the hill they come.
You bet. There'll be 1 lap left to go. A look at the distance. It was 0.7 of a second. Right now it's double, almost a second and a half. So Dave Jonas running extremely well here out in front.
Dave with a 26.463 lap. That is a very fast lap, and because of it, he's put a lot of space between himself and Peter Narsa. Out of that cat corner, through the dog leg, and down the stretch comes David Jonas. Here in matchup number 4 of round 1, he will transfer. David Jonas transfers to round 2 of the AMSOIL Dominator. Great race for Dave Jonas. Great way to start the season. You want to see if you can make it into at least the second round. Show everybody that you are here and you mean business in 2015.
We've got 4 of the 8 moving on selected. We got 4 left to go. Let's go down to Carly.
Congratulations, Dave. Tell fans about the track conditions right now.
Right now the track's pretty smooth and fast, and a lot of good jumps, and it's fun.
Hopefully it'll stay smooth the rest of tonight.
For sure.
Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Guys.
Does look like fun.
Coming up, it's going to be the next pairing. This will be the number 4 seed, Ross Martin, of course, out of Burlington, Wisconsin, on the Judnick Motorsports Polaris against the number 13 seed. And I want to stand corrected. We're corrected here. Jake Scott is racing for Jess Racing, and they're only racing ISOC events. So it'll be good to see him on board. Jess Racing, of course, and also racing is Montana Jess. Racing with, of course, Jess Racing. And, of course, Mike Bauer, a longtime Arctic Cat racer, is the mechanic for that group. And, of course, they're racing out of their race shop up in Princeton, Minnesota. So I stand corrected. My apologies. Jake Scott racing for Jess Racing right there.
You're actually sitting right now. You sit corrected.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Thank
Ross,
you, though.
I'm correcting you on that as well, aren't I?
Okay.
Ross Martin versus Jake Scott. Another great matchup. Ross Martin on the black sled on the inside. Up the hill they go.
And he was the number 4 seed. He did what he needed to do. And, you know, we talked about that, you know, going inside. Look at Ross, though. He kind of goes outside going into the top part of that racetrack.
Ross Martin, Jake Scott down the hill. Ross, the Boss Martin, has been so fast every year here in Duluth and starting off the same way. He'll take the inside of that FXR turn.
Got to remember, Ross Martin, a 2-time winner of the AMSOIL Dominator Cup. Only 2 people have won it, Ross Martin and Tim Tremblay.
So fast, he's a bit squirrely up the hill. Again, the outside, Jake Scott follows the same line, doesn't make up any moves there on that cat corner. Down the hill he comes. He'll take the white flag. That's Ross Martin out at 8.37.
Watch Ross's body position here. You can tell that he really likes this new sled because he's getting his weight further forward. He's able to get more weight up on that front part of the suspension. This sled for him seems to be turning better.
Smooth over the Air Force flyaway into the cat corner for the final time. He'll dogleg it and head down the hill. Ross Martin did not shake Jake Scott completely, but he will take that win. Checkers in the air, and transferring to the next round of the AMSOIL Dominator is Ross Martin. That'll lead us right to the next matchup. Mike, who do we have coming up now?
Next matchup is going to be number 3 in points from last year. That is the sled of Kyle Pauline. Kyle out of Ironwood, Michigan, got his first pro win last year at Canterbury. This kid was very, very consistent in last season of racing. Looking for big things this year, racing with Levi Racing. He will be taking on Ian Hayden. Ian Hayden is, of course, out of Rockstar Energy Polaris team. He's out of Chatsworth, Ontario. So that is the pairing. The number 3 of Pauline, the number 14 seed of Ian Hayden.
Can't wait to see these next matchups. You see it there, Hibbert against Egan and Tremblay versus Jonas. Ross Martin, of course, waiting on his matchup. But again, coming up, the 3 seed Kyle Pauline versus the number 14 of Ian Hayden. They are on the line and ready to go. You see the white sled, the Mystic Lubricant sled right there. That is our friend, the one and only, we call him Smiley, I guess, Kyle Pauline.
Boy, look at the intensity in their eyes as you see him go up the hill.
Great start for Pauline, right off the start.
Boy, Glenn Kafka had that thing dialed in as far as whole shot. Top part,
skates a little bit.
Skates out, but Hayden back far enough that Kyle, was able to make his way around the corner. Now comes down, and he's already sitting on about a 1.2 second gap between him and Ian Hayden.
Through the FXR turn and up the hill comes Kyle Pauline. You want to see big air, you're going to see it out of Kyle Pauline over the Air Force Flyaway right now.
Boy, that's big going up that hill.
TV just doesn't do it justice. They are really flying when they hit that Air Force Flyaway. Down the hill he comes. He'll head for that white flag. Kyle Pauline, your leader. 1 lap to go.
Now about 2.2 seconds. So Kyle definitely, putting some distance between he and Ian Hayden.
A 25.891 lap for Kyle Pauline. That's one of the fastest I've seen today.
It is, and we've seen, what we thought was the fastest 27 plus earlier. Kyle Pauline knocking off a 25.8.
Over the AMSOIL finish line, and a big win for Kyle Pauline. He'll move on to round 2 of the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator Cup. That'll lead us to our next matchup. We have 2 matchups left here in round 1.
So we will find number 5 qualifier. That is Logan Christian. Logan again out of Fertile, Minnesota, racing, of course, on his number 43 Arctic Cat for Doc 360. And Arctic Cat along with Arctic Wear. He will be taking on the number 12 seed. That is Lincoln Lemieux. Lemieux racing for Shearing Speed Sports on the AMSOIL U.S. Air Force Skidoo. He's out of St. Johnsbury, Vermont.
Lincoln Lemieux, again, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but towards the end of the season last year got injured.
Yes, he did.
Missed a few races, but very, very fast on that AMSOIL sled.
Just think he went in as a privateer early in the year. I believe it was New York where Shearing talked to him and said, hey, guess what? I need a driver. Are you interested? What are you going to say? Well, I don't know. I suppose.
Logan Christian on the inside, Lemieux on the outside, and they're even as they head up the hill.
Position's important. Let's watch them as they go up.
Logan shot out of a cannon out of nowhere. A big lead into the cat corner at the top of the hill.
Boy, Lincoln just taking and eating that roost as they go around the corner. But here comes Lemieux.
Over the AMSOIL finish line, the AMSOIL sled looks to the inside. A little bit of contact. Oh, Christian off his sled. Lemieux continues. We'll have to see if they consider that a clean move. Meanwhile, the 13 sled heads back up the hill. Logan Christian back on his sled. Up in the cat corner, there's your leader, the 13 of Lincoln Lemieux. What'd you think of that, Mike?
Well, I tell you, you hate to say that it could have just been racing. We watched Logie when he came down. He wasn't real stable, and Lemieux was pushing hard. I'm glad that's not my decision.
That's exactly right. We are not in a position to make that choice, and I'm so glad right now. Meanwhile, there you see it. There's Logan Christian, but there's your leader over the Air Force Flyaway one final time through the cat corner. He'll head to the dog leg, and down the hill he'll come. For right now, Lincoln Lemieux, that 13 sled, will take the win and transfer to the next round. It looked like something may have broken on his sled as he crossed the finish line.
And watching it closely here is he...
yeah, he's broken. Something...
What the heck is he looking at? Now they're trying to get something in. Yeah, he's pulled the tether off, saying...
yeah, something went sour right before the AMSOIL finish line. You could hear it on the sled right before the AMSOIL finish line. Let's take a look at this. Again, this is the very beginning of the race. Just out of nowhere, Logan Christian takes that shot up the hill, and he is in the lead. But this is what happens. Little bit of contact right there.
There could have been a little contact there, but...
I wouldn't call it a dirty move, though. And there you see, he looks down. Something broke right before the finish line for Lincoln Lemieux. Now, what's that mean for Lincoln Lemieux? Can he fix the sled and get into the next round?
Well, if you're going to win and you're going to break a sled, this is the place to do it rather than when you're in the next round, because the next round you would go right back and you would be racing again. But now they're going to have just a short period of time. We've got a couple of finals coming up after this first round of qualifying. Matter of fact, 3 finals before he needs to be back up. So, you know, they're going to need to get the sled back to the trailer, and they're going to need to take and, you know, do the work that they need to do to get this sled ready to go.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The 53 of Cody Cam is on the outside right there. Justin Broberg on the inside.
Now, here's an interesting race. Remember, these two guys used to be teammates last year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It is Cody Cam on the inside. Broberg now racing on an Arctic Cat. So Broberg goes to the inside, tries to come back out. Cody Cam pretty solid through there, and down the downhill they come.
Cody Cam is your leader over the AMSOIL finish line with half a lap in here in the final race of the first round of the AMSOIL Dominator Cup. Broberg not going anywhere, not letting him get away. He'll look to the outside. Up the hill they go once again. Over the Air Force Flyway continues to be Cody Cam.
Cam continuing to lead the course around this racetrack right now. Broberg trying to find a line and make a move on him, but that's not happening.
Cam is so fast on these long stretches of green. Inside comes Broberg.
Boy, he was right there. That's the same place that, of course, you know, Christian and Lemieux were bar to bar almost.
It's faster through the corners for Broberg, but he's only got a 1 left. Can he make the move? He won't make it through the cat corner. He won't make it through the dog leg. Down the hill comes Cody Cam, and he will transfer to round 2 of the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator Cup. So the rounds of the first round are in, and the matchups in the second round will be something to watch. Look at Kyle Pauline versus Cody Cam. How great's that going to be?
That is going to be a really, really good race. You know, it's going to be some fun racing as we will move into that second round here after a bit. And I'll tell you what, we've seen some great, you know, bar-to-bar racing here. There you see the way it's going to be. Hibbert will take on Staley Ingen. Then on the opposite side, Tremblay and Dave Jonas. That's going to be a good pairing. Look at the number one seed.
Gets to choose where he wants to start. He'll take that inside line. No surprise there.
But I'll tell you what, you take a look at Egan. He's not scared of him. He's right up alongside of him.
No doubt. And how are we going with that first name? Staley or Stolly or Stale? What are we doing?
Staley.
Somebody's going to have to tell us. Let's see if he's got something for Tucker Hibbert here. The 68 sled on the inside, the T-Train. We're ready to go green. Round 2 of the AMSOIL Dominator Cup. He checks with him. And we are racing at Duluth. They're even. But there goes Tucker.
Tucker got that whole shot to the top part of the hill.
Over the, over the Air Force Flyway, both of them with hard landings. Egan looks to the inside, can't make a move. Here comes Tucker Hibbert down the hill. Tucker already with a sizable lead over the AMSOIL finish line. Again, these races go green, white checkers here in the Dominator Cup. Egan not going anywhere, right there behind him. Up the hill he goes, over the Air Force Flyway, big air for the T-Train.
And this is what we talked about, getting out in front, and then of course, you know, just making sure that you're in a position that you can cover your line and just pull away.
That's exactly what he's doing. White flag in the air for your 9-time champion. Big air for Egan over that AMSOIL finish line. I haven't seen anybody take that much air over the finish line all night. But not enough to reel in the T-Train over the Air Force Flyway for the final time. Into the cat corner, very smooth. The red plate means he's your defending champion. And down the stretch he comes. Checkers in the air for Tucker Hibbert. And that will put him in the semifinal round. We'll find out who he matches up against in a couple of seconds. Tucker Hibbert takes the win here in round 2. Let's go down to Carly Applin, who's with your winner. Carly?
Tucker Hibbert, you have a lot of wins on your record, but the AMSOIL Dominator is not one of them. What are you going to do to secure this tonight?
Just got to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, I feel really good. The sled's working awesome. My whole team, Monster Energy, Arctic Cat, Ram Truck, is putting in the work, so it's up to me, I guess.
Keep it going out there.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well, if it's up to Tucker, then he's looking pretty good because he has been so dominant for so long. You can see the shape that guy is in, man. His whole life is about dominating this sport.
Well, and he has sure done that. Well, let's move over to the other side of the bracket. This is the second pairing of tonight here in round number 2. Your number 2 qualifier, Tim Tremblay on the Skidoo against Dave Jonas. And Jonas, of course, on that Royal Distributing Arctic Cat out of Christian Brothers. Now, this is interesting because look at where Tremblay lines up, and Tremblay had position.
He did, but he gave the inside to Jonas, and Jonas said, thank you, I'll also take the whole shot. Up the hill they go. It's a veritable drag race. Big air for Jonas. He's got the inside line, and he'll take the lead.
Oh, look at
Tremblay to
Tremblay.
the inside.
Well, he tried to rail around there. Looks like he made up a little distance, but whoa, that backfired on him.
Here goes Dave Jonas across the AMSOIL finish line ahead of Tim Tremblay, your defending Dominator champion.
Tremblay will not give up, I can guarantee you that. Watch him as they go back up the hill. There you see Jonas.
Whoa, big air.
Now, Tremblay on the inside. See if he can square and make up some ground.
Dave Jonas with the cheetah seat. Down the stretch he comes, looks over his shoulder, over the AMSOIL finish line. You see the lead right there is Dave Jonas. This would be quite the upset if he can hang on. Tremblay to the inside. It's a drag race up the back of the hill. Here comes Tremblay.
Here he comes.
We've got a new leader with half a lap to go.
I think the big Canadian got a little upset there.
Around the dog leg and down the hill comes Tremblay for the win. It takes everything he has, but he takes the win. Tim Tremblay, your defending Dominator Cup champion, takes the win here in the second round, but that was anything but easy. Let's take a look at this as the two guys congratulate each other. Take a look at this start, and again, Dave Jonas with that inside line got the whole shot.
I can't believe that Tremblay being able to take and have lane choice, that he went outside, but you know, they may have seen something they thought that would work. Fortunately, he's had enough drive and, of course, stamina, and he is just an animal, boy. I tell you what, away he went and went on to take the win.
Let's go down to Carly Applin, who's with our winner, Carly.
Tim, talk about that pass on Dave Jonas. When did you know you had your opportunity?
I don't really know. You know, I thought I was good on the inside, and then he just pulled on the inside and kind of messed my start. And then I knew I was fast in the whoops, so I just gave everything I had, just like a dirt bike in the whoop section, and worked out pretty good.
You really want that third win, don't you?
Yeah, I really want it bad.
Good luck out there.
Thank you.
A very fast final lap for Tim Tremblay gets him a transfer into the semifinal round. And you look at this, the next two guys are up and they are on the track, and this is Lincoln Lemieux and Ross the Boss Martin with the whole shot.
And could this be a little motivation for Lincoln Lemieux? But you remember, we talked about Ross in that first round, how Ross, out of all the drivers on the new Polaris, looked so much stronger.
My goodness, was
so
that
comfortable.
smooth right there. Mike, you're right. I mean, Ross came out of that turn and just railed it down towards that AMSOIL finish line. And right now, a good solid lead over Lincoln Lemieux.
Up the hill they go. And, you know, Ross, when I talked to him earlier today, he said that he will take, and when the sled goes straight, you really can't tell much difference. But he said, boy, I tell you what, when you go into the corner, it is just so easy to turn.
Now again, this is very important. Ross Martin will make it to the semifinal if he can hang on here. The losers in the semifinal round will race for what we call the wild card. The Dominator will be the two guys in the front row and the one guy who transfers out of the wild card round. So there will actually be three guys racing for 10 grand in that final round. And one of those guys might very well be the winner of this round round, Ross Martin transfers to the semifinal with a win over Lincoln Lemieux, and that the third race of the second round of the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator Cup. Very, very fast. You know, it's the usual suspects, Tucker, Tremblay, and Martin. Let's go down to Carly Applin, who's with Ross the Boss.
Congratulations, Ross. This is a sprint, not a marathon. Do you have to be willing to take more risks out there for a race like this?
Yeah, definitely. I think I held my breath the whole race.
Well, please don't do that for the finals, okay? Good luck out there.
All right, thank you.
So let's take a look at the bracket right there.
There you go. Well, that's going to be a classic. Hibbert against Ross Martin on one side. You get to the other side. This is the race that you've been waiting for, Hawk. Kyle Pauline and Cody Cam, as to who is going to take and move on and be in the semis.
And I'll tell you, they're already on the starting line. Kyle Pauline, Cody Cam. Pauline on the inside with the white sled. On the outside is Cody Cam. This is going to be a great one. The green flag drops, and up the hill they go. And Pauline with a bit of a hole shot. In fact, a heck of a hole shot over the Air Force flyaway right now. Kyle Pauline out of a cannon and into the lead. Down the hill he comes, your leader, Kyle Pauline on the 324 over the AMSOIL finish line. Cam with big air. He'll take the outside line.
And he's trying to run the outside, see if he can maintain a little more speed. It was about a second, a little over a second, that, of course, Kyle Pauline had last lap. I don't know if that outside line's going to gain him anything.
My goodness, is Kyle Pauline fast here tonight? The white flag is in the air, and Pauline is serving notice that he definitely belongs in that semifinal. Cody Cam to the outside line once again, but there's less than half a lap to go, and about a second and a half he's got to make up.
He shaved off a couple of tenths of a second, but I'll tell you what, Kyle Pauline looking strong, so strong. This guy, we've seen him all year last year get stronger and stronger and stronger.
He looks real strong, and he's looking at the checkers. Kyle Pauline on the 324 will make it into the semifinals and take on Tim Tremblay, the defending Dominator Cup champion. What a semifinal round we have in store as Kyle Pauline dispatches Cody Cam from the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator Cup race. Let's go down to Carly Applin with our winner.
Kyle, I have a real serious question for you. $10,000 or bragging rights, which is most important?
You know, that's a tough one, but, you know, I'm just out here having fun, and, you know, if I walk away with 10 grand tonight, that's going to be awesome, but just being out here is so much fun.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at how the bracket sets up now. We've got two great races here in this semifinal round. Tucker Hibbert versus Ross Martin. That's happened a few times. Tim Tremblay versus Kyle Pauline. The winner of those rounds, of course, moved directly into the championship round. And then the two losers of this semifinal round will race each other and try to get a spot in the finals themselves. They'll have to start on the back row, but they will still be running for that $10,000.
That's correct. And so, you know, you've still got two chances to get back in here. The interesting thing about the brackets is all the guys that are in it so far made it in by being in the top 8 early on.
It certainly will be, and you see right there, that first matchup of the semifinal round is already on the starting line.
Now, this is interesting. Ooh. Tucker, the number 1 qualifier, has lane choice. Look where he's gone. He's gone to the outside, and Ross Martin goes inside. So this is the Hibbert-Martin elimination here. Remember that the winner goes into the final. The other one would go into another round.
And they're racing! Tucker with a bit of a nose in the hole shot, but not enough to get away from Ross, who's quick through the whoops.
Boy, Martin just held on there and squeezed the trigger.
Into the turn, Martin to the lead, Tucker looks to the inside.
Wasn't there.
Ross Martin with a big lead down the hill over the AMSOIL finish line.
Green-white checkered yet, so they got 2 laps left to go. They're running about 30-second laps.
Ross tries to force it around the curve, and up the hill he goes, and he separates himself from the T-train. Ross Martin has done this before. He's beaten Tucker Hibbert before, and he's trying to do it again here in the semifinal round.
Boy, Martin looking strong. You know, Jetty was prancing around here today. He said, we're ready to kick some butt. Ross Martin's doing that right now.
He is. Ross Martin.
Second and a half.
The boss through the corner and up the hill for the final time. The 837 of Ross Martin giving it everything he's got over the Air Force flyaway, and right now it is not even close, Mike.
It is not. Look at Martin just pulling away, and Tucker trying everything he can do, but Tucker just falling back. Ross the Moss Martin makes it into the final.
Ross Martin did the upset. The 837 of Ross Martin transfers directly into the finals by upsetting Tucker Hibbert here in the semifinal rounds. Let's take a look at how it happened. As we said, Tucker gave up the inside line to Ross Martin, but right here through the whoops, Ross Martin just gets on the gas and hangs onto that inside line. That meant everything. The 837 out of the corner and down towards the AMSOIL finish line on that AMSOIL sled for the win.
And I'll tell you what a run.
Who would have guessed?
Now, the thing to remember, Tucker's not out of this. Tucker still got one more chance of getting into the final. So he's going to take on the loser of Tremblay, Kyle Pauline, which is coming up next. And so, you know what? Who knows? The T-Train could resurface.
I think there's a pretty good chance that he will, but you just never know. I would not have guessed that Martin would have not only beaten him, but beaten him that resoundingly in that round. Anything is possible. That's why we love the Dominator, and that's why we love AMSOIL Championship Snowcross.
I think the big thing to remember is that these are not long races. These are sprints, 2 laps. You need to establish yourself, and away you go. Now, look at this. Tremblay last time took the outside line. I think that this is maybe a wiser choice for him. Tremblay on the inside, Kyle Pauline on the outside.
Look at this, the matchup that we've been waiting for. Tremblay versus Pauline. Who's going to be faster? Shaking out the cobwebs, waiting on their sleds to be ready. Pauline not ready, not ready. Now he's ready. And we are green in Duluth. Pauline on the outside with a bit of a hole shot.
Oh, couldn't Glenn Kafka pulled off the biggest hole shot of the weekend? He has. Oh my, Pauline just solid.
Pauline with a big lead through the cat corner. Tremblay stumbled a bit, and down the hill comes Kyle Pauline.
But we've seen, of course, Tim Tremblay in the same situation that last round.
Through that FXR turn, and up the hill comes Smiley. Kyle Pauline on the 324. He served notice a couple of times last year that he's a man to be dealt with. Tonight, he's showing everybody that he could win the Dominator. Kyle Pauline at the top, coming down towards the AMSOIL finish line. He'll take that white flag. 1 lap to go, and again, it's not even close, Mike.
No, it's not. Oh, he put 0.6 of a second more on him in that last lap. I'll tell you what, Tim Tremblay's got his work cut out for him. I don't think he can do it.
Kyle Pauline over the Air Force flyaway one final time into the cat corner, racing with it all hanging out is Kyle Pauline into the dogleg, and down the stretch comes Kyle Pauline towards the AMSOIL finish line. The checkers in the air for the 324 of Kyle Pauline, and into the finals goes Kyle Pauline, which will set up a last chance qualifying round between Tim Tremblay and Tucker Hibbert to see if either of those guys will take that back row for this final.
Boy, that's going to be fun in itself to watch. So there you see, 2 of them already in. Kyle Pauline, Ross Martin, both of them on Polarises. Now you've got Hibbert and Tremblay in what you would call a last chance qualifier to get into the final. Look at this right here. He just got a hole shot.
Unreal.
I mean, Glenn Kafka had that thing dialed like you wouldn't believe.
Now we saw 2 different wins right there, because Pauline won that with a straight hole shot. Ross Martin won his race over Tucker in the whoops on that first straightaway. It's a battle of 2 different types of wins right there. We'll see who comes out in the final, but as you said, we're not done finding out who's going to be in this final, because immediately Tremblay versus Tucker to find out who's going to make it into the final. And again, either of these 2 guys very capable of winning it from the back row.
Well, and that's what's kind of fun to watch. I mean, there's no time to take your sled back and work on it now. This is, all right, you made a round, you're coming back, we're running again. Here's Tucker Hibbert. Hibbert on the line. You see his dad, Kurt Hibbert, running up, of course, making sure that everything is set, setting the studs and that, just checking the sled, making sure that everything is good to go. And Tim Tremblay on the inside. 2 guys that have raced against each other time and time again. But the big thing to remember is that this isn't a race of longevity, it's a sprint.
2 laps with Tucker and Tremblay. Tremblay not ready yet. Now he gives him the nod. We're about to go green. And the last chance at a spot in the finals is underway, and these two are racing. Tremblay!
Just out of control. I almost thought he was going to come off his sled.
Fast and loose is Tim Tremblay, and he has the lead over Tucker Hibbert, but Tucker's not going away yet.
Hibbert right there. Watch him on the downhill. He's going to go inside and see if he can take and race him into the corner. Tremblay's got it covered, though. Hibbert goes outside, not there.
Tremblay checks up. Tucker has to do the same. It's a drag race up the hill towards that Air Force flyaway. Look how fast Tremblay is. Tucker to the inside. Can he make the move here?
Trying to square underneath it. Nope. Tremblay was able to rail around the outside. Down the Ram runaway they come.
Headed towards the white flag. Tim Tremblay, can he hold off the T-Train one final time? Inside looks Tucker Hibbert. He bounces off of him. Can't make the move as they head up the hill.
Oh, he was right there. Good racing. Tucker pushed it a little bit, but he wasn't close enough to make the pass.
Tucker looks to the inside.
He's going to try square underneath him.
Tremblay holds him off through the dogleg and down the hill. It's Tremblay, it's Hibbert, it's a drag race, and Tim Tremblay holds off Tucker Hibbert.
Tremblay looked over his shoulder, seen Hibbert there. Look at those guys, they pointed at each other. Great race.
What a race that was. You got your money's worth here tonight in the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator Cup, and we haven't even gotten to the finals yet.
Well, we are there now, so they'll give him a second, and we are going to be going green in the final.
The race was won right there, ladies and gentlemen, over those whoops. Again, there you saw it. Tremblay did everything he could to keep that car, that sled behind him.
And this is where he protected his line. Tucker tried to go underneath, kind of slapped the tail a little bit, wasn't able to make it bite, and of course then Tremblay pulled away again.
The only thing Tucker Hibbert has had difficulty with in the last few seasons has been the Dominator, and it got him again tonight.
Well, it's all set up now. So you've got two-time champions against the young man from Ironwood, Michigan that 24/7 has a smile on his face.
Kyle Pauline has been so fast in these whoops sections. Again, let's take one look at it here. Ross Martin, Kyle Pauline go in by winning. That right there is Tim Tremblay in the wild card. Again, Tim Tremblay gets in. He'll start on the very back row of this race. Ross Martin, Kyle Pauline get a choice. I believe Ross Martin probably will have his first choice to decide on where he wants to start. Kyle Pauline right there, as you see, getting his sled all set, making sure it's ready and planted in the snow the way he wants it.
Kyle Pauline will have choice.
That's true. He finished higher in the points last year.
He was
My
third in
fault.
points. You bet Ross Martin was fourth in points. So Kyle Pauline's got the choice here.
Again, very, very interesting because the guy on the outside in the black sled, of course, Ross Martin, the 837, has been fast through the whoops, but Kyle Pauline has been fast off the start. We'll see who takes the big advantage. Don't forget, behind them, way behind them, by the way, is Tim Tremblay. He's got a long ways to make up right from the very start, but it's not out of the question.
Here we go, getting ready.
The
2.5 laps, $10,000.
The 2015 AMSOIL Dominator has gone green. Pauline, Ross Martin, Pauline with that whole shot. Here comes Tremblay!
Tremblay on the inside.
How did that happen?
Oh!
Tremblay is your leader from the back row.
It's called dollar signs.
Tim Tremblay on that AMSOIL sled has your lead from the back row and over the AMSOIL finish line. But Pauline has got something to say. Inside goes Pauline. He bumps him. Tremblay, the big, strong sledder, hangs onto it, and up the hill he goes with a big lead here in the AMSOIL Dominator.
Boy, that contact actually helped Tremblay because Kyle went outside, and still when you look back, Ross is a ways back. Look at Tremblay now. 1 lap left to go. He is out huge. Is the three-peat about to show us the way?
$10,000, 1 lap away for Tim Tremblay. Pauline still back there, but nowhere near reeling in Tim Tremblay right now. Over the Air Force flyaway one final time.
Half a lap left to go. Around the corner, he'll come down the Ram runaway. Trying to catch him. It ain't going to happen. It's three-peat, baby.
Tim Tremblay on the number 11 over the AMSOIL finish line will win the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator in comeback fashion from the back row to the $10,000 check. Tim Tremblay has done it here in Duluth tonight.
Just a second, I gotta take a breath here, man.
I gotta tell you,
I gotta take a breath.
I can't believe it. Now again, we saw just how far behind the two guys in the front row he was. By the time they got to the Air Force Flyaway, he was your leader.
Watch this. It's like he had a bottle of nitrous on there.
Where did he come from?
Incredible.
Unreal. And there you see it. Pauline made a move there and backed off enough. He knew he was in the wrong if you make an aggressive move right there.
Good
Absolutely.
racing.
But of course, through the FXR turn and up the hill he goes for the final time. That number 11 sled headed towards the AMSOIL finish line. The flames in the air and $10,000 in his back pocket. One more time, a three-peat for Tim Tremblay here in Duluth for the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator. What a night of racing to start this season off.
I tell you what, you look at the Sharing Speed Force guys, it's unreal the whole shot they got. And these sleds, they're taking and making such circuits that they're going back. They're really not getting time to clean clutch plates or anything like that. That thing just hooked up and it was gone.
Three-peat, that's right, three
There's
in a row.
Steve Shearing right there.
Congratulations all around. And again, Tim, whoever set that sled up to get that start, shake their hand like 5 times and give them half that check, because I've never seen anything like that. He made up 10 yards and passed the leaders before they got to the Air Force Flyaway.
Incredible. I tell you what, you talk about the racing that we've seen here tonight. Don't forget that we got a full day of this tomorrow.
There's a start once again. Again, Pauline with a great start. We were expecting this. Pauline off the whole shot. Ross Martin right there. And then suddenly, there's Tim Tremblay.
Yeah, and I had made the comment just before Tremblay came into the frame. I said, Glenn Kafka, what a setup. And all of a sudden you see that skidoo just screwed out of nowhere.
Well, we have racing all day here again tomorrow. The opening ceremonies for the big dogs start at 5 o'clock. As you can see, you're not going to want to miss it, Mike.
No, don't forget, racing starting tomorrow morning at 9:30. Stop by. There's going to be stuff taking place. They're giving away things tomorrow like you wouldn't believe. Stop by. It's going to be a great day here at Spirit Mountain.
Let's give away some hardware and a big old check, shall we?
Well, I think we can do that. Carly's down there, and of course, all of the folks from AMSOIL. Let's go down and meet the winner of the 2015 AMSOIL Dominator out of Quebec, Canada, racing for Sharing Speed Sports for AMSOIL and the U.S. Air Force, Tim Tremblay.
Huge congratulations, 3-time champ for the AMSOIL Dominator. A big check in his hands. Congratulations to Tim Tremblay. Jeremy Meyer from AMSOIL, I think you need to take this away.
Tim, 5 years running. AMSOIL has won this every year, the AMSOIL Dominator. 3 in a row, buddy, and you did it in style. Congratulations on the 10 grand, and here's a nice little piece of hardware for you. Let's hear it for Tim Tremblay.
And Tim, what do you want to say tonight? What a way to start your season.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to my whole team. They've been working really hard for this, and then it was just crazy. Like I start from the back row, and then I knew I had my line coming up the hill because I did a couple mistakes with Kyle and Tucker, and it was just amazing to get the win from the back row.
Well, congratulations, you guys. We still have 2 more days of this, so go home, get some rest, and join us tomorrow. We'll be back.
Thank you, Carly. Absolutely right. Again, congratulations, man. Holding up that AMSOIL oil and, of course, that helmet and taking pictures for everybody out there. As we take a look at how it happened, you see it right there. Tremblay beats Renheim. Then he beats Jonas. And then he loses to Pauline and has to go through the wild card round where he beat Tucker Hibbard. We should have known something was up when he dispatched Tucker Hibbard in that wild card round. But I've seldom seen such a start for any racer in any sport as he just got right there in that AMSOIL Dominator.
No, I got to agree with you. That whole shot that he had is one like I've never seen before. I mean, it just launched him, and away he went. And, it took him, like he said, he's seen something early on. He made a couple of mistakes. He corrected them, and I'll tell you what, it put him on top of the podium and made him $10,000.